So let's get into it. Sky, as always, my star co-pilot on this, will be navigating us through. So let's have some fun. I wanted to start the meeting with this, a huge, proud moment. This is the highest profit share in the history of Keller Williams Irvine that they've ever been able to distribute. In March, we set a brand new record. So when I say we, you made this happen. That is massive. $51,840.52. I want to know who got the 52 cents, but that is a huge amount of money that got given back to you guys because you did a great job. So that's massive. But I will say this: I have the privilege of being present at the regional meetings every week, and last week they were promoting how great everyone's month was for March. Our profit sharing for this office was more than the highest that any other company in Southern California had made in office revenue. Our market sharing made more than their office revenue. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, that's great.
That is huge. So if you're ever questioning if you're in the right place, question no more. Because if you want to be the best, you've got to surround yourself by the best. And that's why you guys are the best. So, Guy, you want to go back a step? Just can't find good help these days, guys. I'm so sorry. I mean, I only joke. So, guys, it's Red Day's coming up next May, sorry. But we're doing Red Month. And that's going to start from today, the 13th. So we're going to be donating household amenities to families or anyone who's suffered during this financial pandemic that we've been through. The link is there if you want to donate yourself. You can do many other ways. And we will be closed on May the 13th on that Thursday. And we're going to advise what we're doing. But yeah. Annie, do you want to talk a bit more about that?
All right, so we're actually partnered with Pathway of Hope. They are actually working to rehouse families that have fallen on hard times due to COVID. So in doing so, they do need some household items such as towels, anything as small as a toothbrush to pots and pans. So we went ahead and made a registry on Amazon. You can donate. We've tried to make it so that each item is about $20 and cheaper. So, we're not trying to buy them huge items. They're just small, everyday items that they do need. So with that's going on for the whole month. We will be doing a separate Red Day event, but this is just something that you can do discreetly. We're not going to promote anyone's specific donations. So, as much as you guys can contribute, we'd really appreciate that.
That's awesome. Thanks for organizing that, Annie. And if you guys have any more questions, you know where to find her. She's right there, right when you walk in, big smiling face. So go down and see Annie if you have any more questions about that. It's a phenomenal cause, guys. We are very lucky and gifted that we don't, we have a job. We have a place to go to. We have somewhere to make us money to support ourselves and our families and loved ones. And there are unfortunately some people out there that, really are going through some hard times. So always very rewarding to give back to others. I know for me at least anyway. So yeah, guys, get on board with that. And when we get more details about what we will be doing on Red Day, Annie, no doubt, will have the full brief.
Really quick, we're going to go ahead and add that to our link tree. So the link will be there. We'll also send that via email. So you guys will have an opportunity to donate whenever. Yeah,
I just saw a comment from Russell asking if you can paste it. So Russell, just go into the link tree when Annie gets that up and you'll be able to find it there, Russell. Cool. Do you guys want to join my PC program? It's fun.
It is.
We make money. No, guys, I want to open up to you guys. As I said last week, it's not just for new agents into the industry. It's a great refresher to get you back on board. Maybe you lost a bit of momentum. Maybe you're trying to find a new angle or a new tactic to better your skill set to give you that competitive edge. I'm loving teaching you guys that are in the program. We've got a great bunch of people right now who are already seeing tremendous success. And we wanted to extend that invitation to the whole corporation out here and make sure that you guys have the resources available. So if you do want to take your business to that next level, again and again and again, then it's very worthwhile. And I absolutely see tremendous value in it. Providing you can understand my accent and how quickly I speak, you will get the value out of this. So I recommend, if you want to know more about it, come see me or go down and see Sky, Lindsay, Annie, or Steele, ask some details on how you can get into it, and we'll get you into the program and look to raise your revenue and get you more profit sharing and get you really established to have a full passive income business underway. Let's talk Sky and tech. Sky, it's over to you.
Alrighty, so as some of you guys know, some of you guys don't, I do a tech corner on Thursdays at 12. Last week, I did not have it because I was moving, so that is my bad. But this week, I will 110% be having it. So if you guys have any tech problems at all, just reach out to me. I'm thinking about putting a class together for smart plans and then also for putting together the commissions tab in Command, just so you guys have a better idea of how to submit your commissions so that your compliance is checked and you get your paycheck quicker, because everybody loves money. So I'll be working on that, and I will get back to you guys with all that information soon.
Excellent. Guys, again, I come across tech troubles on a daily basis because I'm not the most tech savvy, and Sky is my, what's the, can I call you a knight in shining armor? Is that wrong? Knightess in shining armor, comes up every day, saves the day, and she's really exceptionally knowledgeable and everything. So guys, we have a great resource in the office. You don't have to go out and find it. You don't have to get on Yelp or anything like that. We've got it right here. No, don't take advantage of her, but take advantage of the opportunity. All right. What do we got coming up? Birthdays. Oh, we're light this month. Mariam's yesterday. Elizabeth is today. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. If you're on the call, I can't see.
She's going to be 80.
No way.
80. We're celebrating later this week.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Good for her. And then we've got Mark Gianotto. Yeah, I can say the Italian names because I'm Italian, so I can pronounce the Italian names correctly. I just struggle with everything else in between. But Mark's tomorrow. So guys, if you see Mark tomorrow, wish him happy birthday. If you see Elizabeth at all around, wish her, and also Mariam as well. It's also still, I believe it's still Nina's birthday month. So Dale, you know.
The party continues.
The party continues, exactly. But guys, happy birthday to you guys there. All right, some congratulations on deals. Christopher closed out a vacant land somewhere I have no idea of where it is. And then we got Michael May had a great.
I think Michael took the week off.
Michael did?
Yeah, he didn't do his normal amount this week. He only did 3.
Slacking. Where's the whip? Get the whip out. Michael had 3 Rising Star, Silkwood, and Overbrook. Great listings there. Both 2 in Irvine, 1 in RSM. RSM's really surging right now. Michelle also had one on, I guess Michelle was involved with Michael on that one on Rising Sun. We had Ashley Han on Finch in Lake Forest. We had Christopher. Oh, you guys are going to love me saying this one. Theorindarnus us. Come on, someone help me out here.
Darnus. To be fair, there should be a hyphen there, so kind of threw you through a ringer on that one.
Last week as well. I'm sorry, Christian. I'm going to get there, buddy. I promise. Harvest Way, and then we also had Avienda and Dante. Now we've got Fred Said had one on Windjammer. That's a cool name, Windjammer. Penny Chang on Rathburn, and then Ryan on Valmont Way. Where's LD? You don't know where LD is?
Ladera. I think it's Ladera, isn't it?
Oh, Ladera Ranch. Yeah, that's Ladera Ranch. Yeah, right.
Yes, it could be.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, congratulations, guys. That's awesome. Great sales. You guys know that many sales is what most offices do in a whole month. You guys know that, right? We're doing it on a weekly basis. So again, just reiterating the point, you guys are in an office that are producers. So if you see someone, absorb some knowledge from someone, share some knowledge, get to know your colleagues, and you will too be just as successful as them. I have no doubt. Just listed. What do we got coming on this week? All right, we got 7 Farside in Irvine by Laura Chang, 690, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 3 bedrooms for 690 in Irvine. It seems really, really well priced. That'll probably be an escrow by tomorrow, I would imagine. Great home.
It's actually 1.5 bath, that one.
Okay, excellent. We've got 36 Seaton in Irvine, 835, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms by Merity, and Ben is Ben on that as well with her. I'm not sure, but Merity listed that one. It's another great listing. Again, there is still homes in Irvine under $1 million, guys. So there's some good. If you got buyers out there looking to buy a home in Irvine, best school district in the nation, send them this way. We got 21491 Aguilar in Mission Viejo.
That's a single story.
Single story, great for your baby boomers that are looking for that single story home. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 775. Again,
that seems really cheap.
Seems really cheap. I mean, again, those homes sat at around the 6s and 7s for so many years. They're now starting to see some growth. But I don't know what you're seeing, Dale. But are you seeing people that are moving out of Irvine to get?
Well, actually, we're seeing a lot of people moving out of state.
Yeah, that too.
A lot of people moving out of state. You know, the baby boomers that are getting ready to retire. We've had a whole bunch moving to Arizona, Prescott, North Carolina, to Nevada. A lot of them are moving to non-tax states. But I've never seen so many people moving out of state as I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, well, our favorite governor.
There you go.
He made.
Let him go, I say. Let him go.
He made a quote last week. He said, "If you don't like it here, get out." He actually said it live on television.
I'm not going anywhere.
No, we pay the taxes for the sunshine, and I'm happy to stay for it. Guys, next one up. What do we got? You guys are just having fun with me now, trying to make me say that.
Oh, Leisure World.
Elizabeth.
Seizure World.
Leisure World. Oh, these are always fun. I love selling in Leisure World. 4010 KS and Nora.
Oeste.
Oeste?
Yeah.
Oeste. Unit 1H. Not H. Laguna Woods. 368 500. Tough market down there, though. I will say there is a lot on the market. In reference to what Dale just said, a lot of those older generation, they're moving out of state.
Well, we usually know what happened to the sellers down there.
Yeah. They don't normally argue back.
Yeah, they don't fight for the price quite so hard.
No, but the beneficiaries do. The beneficiaries put up a hell of a fight. Next one along the line. Sky, please. Oh, that's it. Oh, well, I guess this will reflect when I talk about the state of the market. What do we got on the state of the market news?
Well, we're still seeing lots of activity, still getting multiple offers on everything, and still a shortage of inventory. So nothing seems to change. As much as a lot more inventory is coming on, is being absorbed immediately.
It is. It certainly is. I can tell you guys a quick story. I made a couple of offers over the weekend for several different buyers that we've been working with. But one in particular was down in San Diego, and listing price was $799. We offered $908, and we still didn't get it. And it was only on the market for 2 days. They had 65 offers received.
Wow. Wow.
And that's just showing the confidence that buyers have in the market on the interest rates, on location, and they know that they're going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years. So they're banking on their future, knowing that they're going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years, and they're okay if the market corrects a little bit because they know they're going to be here for the long haul. And if Dale's living proof that if you're here for the long haul, you'll always make money on property. They're the highs and lows, just like our industry, but you'll always prevail as a winner if you can hold it for long enough.
Yeah, and every market is a good market. You just have to decide in which market it's better to work with sellers or which market to work with buyers. But there's always a good market.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're probably finding right now there's a lot of not good agents out there, though, that we're coming and working with.
Gosh.
And I'm sure it's very frustrating for a lot of you as it is for me. It's like, I feel like everyone's all of a sudden went and got their real estate license all of a sudden and thinks they know everything about real estate, but don't know how to negotiate, communicate, answer their phone, answer their emails. And it's very frustrating. So guys, as long as you are the person who's always initiating the communication, you'll see the success every time. But new listings, we're up 25% in Orange County, up 31% in Irvine, but exactly what Dale said, truth to his words, we're down 35% in Irvine on actives because they're going just like that. And now closed deals, again, this is going to reflect exactly what Dale said last week. There was no sales last year at this time. So the numbers are going to look considerably out of line because there was nothing. If you're looking over a 12-month gap for April, May, even into June last year, we saw a very stagnant market where nothing was happening. We were completely shut down. So you're going to see some very out of line numbers, like the pending sales are up 134.6%, which is massive, but it all falls in line with exactly what happened with the pandemic. We're in the recovery stage and growth. So it'll start to level out over the next 6 months. You'll see that.
You know, Simon, on the active listings in Woodsbridge, we're probably down 75% in Woodsbridge. I mean, we're down to, yesterday was 8, today it's 10 listings. We normally have between 40 and 60 listings this time of year. So even though it says minus 35%, there are areas where it probably isn't as down as much. But here where we are, it's down a whole lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard. It's hard going because this is the time when we should have an abundance of listings. We're coming into that, we're into it already, not coming into, we're into that spring market. This should be when we have the most listings on the market. This is where, like Dale said, and as I referenced before, we're in the best school districts in the nation. This is when people look to relocate their families, get established, lock their kids into schools so they can start that new school year fresh, prepared, ready to go. So it's
one thing I'm finding, I don't know if the rest of you are, is that when normally somebody would be moving up, because for me, this is a time when the family move up into larger properties, because they've got so much equity, they're refinancing their homes, turning their home into a rental and then buying new. So now you have less inventory coming on because the house that would have come on the market just got turned into a rental. So we're seeing a lot of that.
Interesting point you say on that, because it just triggered me to think of something, Dale. Obviously, the state of California last year approved ADUs on properties.
That's right. Granny flats.
But a lot of properties in Irvine, particularly, or tract home locations in general, there's no room to put an ADU. So they haven't been able to capitalize on that opportunity. Whereas you've seen it in other surrounding areas, like as up high as north into Long Beach and then down south into Mission Viejo at the back there. You're seeing where they've had larger land parcels, they've been able to capture that. And that's why that market has gone crazier. But Irvine, you can't really, I know there's nowhere I could put an ADU in my backyard.
No.
Unless I convert my child's playhouse.
No, the demand was so great that they made smaller lots. Because for every 15 homes the builders were releasing, there were 300 people standing in line to buy them. So what they did is they added mass, but gave everybody small lots so the builders could build more. Mm-hmm. So as much as it's a great rule in other areas where they have more land, and Irvine land is a premium, so we're not going to be able to utilize that.
Exactly.
capitalize on it.
Unfortunately, we're disadvantaged, but the school districts is definitely one of the leading reasons why people live in Irvine.
Absolutely.
That and the convenience of being so close to John Wayne Airport and the 405 and whatnot, but it's the hub of Orange County.
It was always the school district, then the fact that it was one of the safest cities in the United States, and then that it was a master plan community, which people liked. They were always the three reasons people moved to Irvine.
There you go.
And that hasn't changed, really.
There you go. Well, that's why I live here. So.
Well, we can't keep everybody out. We try, but you know how it is.
No. I've had a few.
Don't let anybody in if they've got the money.
I think you just got to have an accent and they let you into Irvine. Anyway. So look, medium sales price right now, $850 in Orange County, $955 in Irvine up. That's why I say before with those new listings, you got an average, or you got a medium and an average that are both well above the prices of the listings that we've just got coming on the market in Irvine. So if you got buyers, shoot them over to those new listings that our office has got. Work with your own internal office. It's going to be a much smoother transaction, and there's some great opportunities at hand. So let's go to the next slide. Wow. So I just take a moment because I'm always in shock when I see these numbers, but even though I know them, I still get shocked by it. But pending sales down in Orange County, but up in Irvine. Again, proof to what to Dale's words. Closed sales are up. Things are moving still very quickly. Interest rates are still very competitive. So we're going to still see this drive going. I don't see it slowing down yet. Possibly for another 6 or so months, in my opinion. But I don't know, Dale, how long do you think it's
Well, that's why I'd like to hear Tina or Benny speak, because I think the interest rates are going to decide how long this market continues. Because if interest rates start moving up, we're going to get a lot of buyers priced out of the market. And I think first-time buyers are really pretty much already priced out of the market.
Yeah.
So if these low rates stay, this market could sustain itself. If they start to go up, which the new administration said they were going to raise rates, we could see a much quicker slowdown. So I'm curious to hear what they have to say when it comes to their turn.
Excellent. No, I agree. And I'm looking forward to that as well, because it's definitely going to determine how we act with our buyers at hand and sellers that are on the fence about thinking the market right now. Next slide. Oh, I know you guys love hearing me speak, but I'm going to speak a little bit more. So, and I'm gonna lean on you a little bit here, Dale. You didn't know I'm going to do this, so this is a surprise attack. So, I got asked today, what do we want to talk about as a group? And last week we did a bit of Q&A and some hurdles, and I really liked that. But what I'm hearing a lot out there myself is, you know, we're writing offers on all these properties and we're not getting them. And what do we need to do to be competitive? And we touched on it a little bit last week. Jeff shared with us how some buyers are taking over the payment for the seller's title insurance. What other gimmicks are we using, or not gimmicks, but like strategies? What are you using? Dale, are you working with any buyers right now?
I usually work a lot of buyers. I don't have a lot right now, but I would tell you what I'm seeing from buyers agents is, and this is very common. I had a listing a couple of years ago on Lido Island, and almost every agent that brought me a buyer did this. And now I'm seeing it at Irvine, where they're saying, okay, you know what? It's 2.5, or whatever it is. Why don't you give me 2, you take half, and let me get the deal? Because your best ally is the listing agent. He's the one that the seller trusts. He's the one that's going to listen to the seller, who the seller is going to listen to. So you need to align with the listing agent. I mean, the first thing I do is call them and say, hey, I want to make this as easy for you and I as possible. If we can agree upon price, I can guarantee you it's going to be a smooth transaction. Well, what agent doesn't like to hear that?
Exactly.
So I've already endeared myself to him. And I'm not saying do this every time, but if I get a buyer from an open house that's working with every agent in town, and I'm sure none of you have had those, but I know that they have no loyalty, I pretty much know that it's a one-time shop with this buyer. So if I don't get 2.5%, I only get 2%, and I get the deal, it still makes sense to me.
Yeah. Smart
so
business.
That's one of the strategies that we've been using. But I tell you, everything is about relationships. And unfortunately with COVID, we can't get out there as much as we used to. But knowing the agent, having some kind of relationship or trying to have a relationship with that agent will get you far, because all that agent wants to hear is, hey, is this buyer for real? And is this agent going to make my life easier or difficult?
Exactly.
So when you call out that agent and say, hey, look, I would really like to work with you. I know if we could agree upon price, this would be a smooth transaction. That line is written in every letter that I present. Thank you for allowing me to show your property. It's a great property. Congratulations. I know if we can put this deal together, it's going to be a smooth transaction. And I'd say a little bit about my buyer, because I want to humanize that buyer. I don't want him just to be a name. And then every time I send an offer, I will follow up with that agent. Don't be somebody that just sends an offer. Build a relationship with that agent, because if all things are equal, that agent is going to pick you. Exactly. And many times, even if you're a little bit below, if the agent likes you, he's going to call you up and say, hey, I have so many offers. If you can get your buyer to this, I can get you the deal. And that has worked very well for me. I used to be the #1 buyer's agent in Irvine for 21 years. I loved buyers. Even though I did listings, I was the only big agent that did both, because it was a guaranteed listing one day.
Yeah.
So I loved working with buyers. And that was the first thing I did. As soon as my client was interested, I called up the agent and said, hey, this is who I am. I'd love to work with you. And one of the things I've always found is to say, can you help me out? If you take an aggressive tone, which many agents do, then I don't want to work with that agent. If someone says to me, hey, Dale, I'd like to work with you. Could you help me out? I'm going to go overboard to try and help that agent and make a deal with that agent.
Exactly. Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than when you're trying to do a deal and you can't get a hold of the agent, or you don't communicate with them at all. Communication is absolute key. Absolute key. Cyrus is in my team. We've been trying to secure a property for one of our buyers, and this is not to put Cyrus down any way whatsoever. He's a new agent.
Oh, come on, put him down.
No, he's one of my best. I'm not going to do that to him.
I'm kidding, Cyrus.
No, not on a Tuesday anyway. But Cyrus, he kept calling the agent. What do I need to do? I'd love to work with you. I want to make this work. I really want to help my client out. And exactly, just like very similar to what Dale said. How do we make this the most simple transaction for both of us and the seller and the buyer as well, to make sure that everyone gets what they want and it goes through fluently, smoothly? And that agent rang back Cyrus and he told him exactly what you said, Dale. He actually said to him, these are all the other offers. This is what they're offering. These are their terms. If you can do better, you're going to get it. And that's because he's going to want to work with someone who communicates. And I
bet you he didn't share that with every other agent.
I bet you he didn't. Absolutely. No way.
So, and if Simon is not available, just know that I'm here. You can call me. We can work it through, or you can come to my office and we'll work it. But we are here to support you in those kind of situations. If you're not sure, call one of us.
Yeah. Now, I want to touch on one thing with this. I don't know if have you guys heard of an escalation clause or an accelerated clause?
Maybe everyone doesn't know. Why don't you go through it, Simon?
Okay, cool. This is what I'm seeing in this market is being is highly utilized. And it's being utilized because a lot of agents don't want to obviously overextend on their buyers' spending limits, but they also don't want to lose out on the property. So for example, let's just use a $600,000 property, for example. The home's listed for $600,000. You could make an offer at $600,000 with an escalation clause saying that your client would be prepared to go up to so in increments of $5,000 up to $650,000, providing they can show you proof of another offer and the contingencies attached with it to make sure that that other offer was bona fide. So that could win your client the offer. That's what I'm seeing as being a very aggressive way. So let's just say that we did that, right? We made an offer, we made it up to $650,000 escalation clause. If they get another offer at $625,000, then we're not spending $650,000, we're only going up to $630,000. And that would safeguard your buyer, which puts you in a better frame with them. They're going to trust you more because they know you worked for them to save some money. You weren't just spending their money willy-nilly. You actually did your job to secure it for them, and they didn't go over their limit. So it's a great tool to have up your sleeve if you want to learn on how to write it in the right correct wording in your contract. I can shoot that out to you guys, or come up and see me and I'll show it to you. But basically, you just want to write, in the additional terms of on your purchase agreement, buyer is happy to extend in $5,000 increments above the most competitive offer received, subject to the agent showing us those offers that they do have, and then you put up to your maximum you're prepared to go to. So that's a great way to secure a property without going and being that one person that blows it completely out of the water. It doesn't appraise, you screw up your finance, and then you fall out of escrow, and you potentially could even lose a buyer if you're like what Dale said, in that situation where you might only get one shot. You might only get one shot. So don't screw it up. And they're going to get frustrated, and maybe they've lost out on several homes before. This is a great tactic or strategy to have up your sleeve that's going to give you a competitive edge. Because I'm not seeing too many people in Orange County using this system, but I'm definitely seeing a lot in San Diego County and LA County utilizing this option. It's a great tool. I shared it with Natalie the other day. And I'm curious to see if anyone else is anyone on here currently doing one like that right now at all?
It's never really taken off in Irvine, Simon. It's very common in Newport Beach.
Okay.
But in all my years, maybe I've seen it once, and my seller wasn't very receptive to it. It was multiple offers. And he said, look, if they want my house, this is what I want. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I just had one.
But I don't think it's a bad idea at all. Speak to the listing agent.
Yeah, Matthew.
I just had one. Hello?
Yep, go for it. Tell us about
It's Matthew Ingalls. I just had one where I had multiple offers, and I had an escalation clause from an agent from Long Beach. And she actually, our asking price was like $650 as a little condo. And they did an escalation clause from the listing price all the way up to like $698 with $5,000 per. And then I got another offer for $701 on the property. I went back to them because they showed more funds in order, to make up for an appraisal coming in short. And they ended up going to 704. And the appraisal did end up coming in short. We had removed the appraisal contingency. She was still going to back out, but we ended up getting 690 from her. And so it went for 40,000 above asking. And we're closing tomorrow.
That's excellent.
Yeah. So I just used it. I just used it basically against, not, I won't say against her, but used it for the purposes of my seller, went back to them and said, hey, we really like your offer. We, would love to go with you, but we've got this other one. And because they had that escalation clause, I didn't feel weird about going back to her at just maybe a 650 offer and saying, oh, do you want to go up 50,000, 55,000? But because they had that, it ended up getting her the property. But for my clients, again, getting, 40,000 above asking was, even with the appraisal coming short, they're very, very happy.
That's a great result.
That's great. That's great.
It's almost like a silent auction. You're writing down your number on a piece of paper and everyone's able to see it, so to speak. So it's just another tool. I'm not saying it's the best way or the worst way. I'm just saying, we need to be creative legally, ethically. And this is just another tool that might help you get that property across the line. It might be, like Jeff said, taking away the title insurance. It might be, hey, the buyer's going to pay all your escrow fees. It might be, Natalie had one, and I hope you don't mind me sharing, Natalie. Natalie said free rent back for 15 days. So giving the seller something back of value, not necessarily always in cash, it might be another way that adds that value. Just might be the only little thing that makes a little difference. It's a little amount, but it might make a big difference in you getting that property secured for your client. So, yeah, guys, I guess wanted to share with you some extra knowledge, a little bit of a game plan strategy change that could give you the winning bid on the day.
Also, Simon, we did talk about shortening our contingency days instead of maybe having like a 17-day contingency. chopping it down to like 10 for the inspections and maybe 16 for the appraisal, depending on what the lender was going to be able to do time-wise and stuff. So those are some more strategies.
Yeah. The only thing I'm seeing with those though, Natalie, is so many people are just removing all those contingencies, and that's still a hurdle.
Right.
I personally don't agree with that unless you're in a scenario where you've been given the information and knowledge up front to be able to make that decision confidently. But I mean, like, I lost, we potentially lost a purchase for a buyer over the weekend because we wouldn't remove our inspection, our appraisal contingency. Well, I didn't feel comfortable. I knew the property wouldn't appraise at that price. It's going to come out short. And I know that lady that we're representing, she's going to possibly be in a situation where she's in a later stages of her life. She hasn't got any other money coming in. This is it. And if we overextend her, she's going to be in a situation where she's going to be suffering for the rest of her life. So you've got an ethical obligation, fiduciary duty, and you're a human being. You care about your clients, I'm sure. So you want to try and do the right thing, but it's very difficult. And Natalie, that is one option, but it's not being as well received as it should be.
Yeah, but when you have a buyer that isn't willing to remove the contingencies, it's like, that's maybe something you can do, but yeah, it might not work.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to say, guys? This is why you should auction properties, because we sell everything with no contingencies. But no, that's another tool. Absolutely, giving something back, shortening timeframes, escalation clause, communication with the agent. They're all the basic fundamentals and options you have available. And if you have any more, please, welcome to jump in and share any other ones you may have. Because
Simon, I have one more, Simon, that I think goes along with what Dale was saying about relationships and knowing those realtors out there. I've been doing this 23 years and I've worked with many, many realtors out there and still do. And so if you are going in and putting an offer on it with a realtor that you're not aware of or not familiar with, contact me. I probably already have a relationship with them and I can make that introduction, that friendly introduction. So it's not a total cold offer on there. So you can build that relationship up with them and maybe, hey, put that deal together.
That's a great idea.
That's awesome.
So that works out. I've done that many, many times for my clients on that. So I can definitely help you out with that.
That's really important. I'm so glad you share that, Jeff. Who's your team? All right, guys, like who's your team? Who's your support system? Obviously we've got a great resource in Dale. He's known, he's liked by everybody. He knows a lot of people who in the industry, outside the industry. You can make that friendly call. You've got Jeff, you've got Mary, you've got Tina, you've got Benny. I'm trying to look at names on the screen here. So we got a lot of people in different fields, but are still part of the same field. And there's enough in the pipe that everyone's going to be a winner out of it if we can get a deal put together. So we all need each other. Utilize your resources. Same as tech, you go to Sky. You need anything else in the office administration and you need guidance. We've got Lindsay and Annie and Steele. We've got a great support system. And if you don't know about it, I'm telling you now, but if you don't know about it, you might be missing out on an opportunity to get something done because you didn't utilize what you've got in front of you. So good, excellent point, Jeff. Really, really agree with that.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I want you guys to remember, Dale and I go way back. So think of us as a 411, not Google. We're 411. So we're the information. Call us up.
I thought you said 401. I'm like,
No, 411. No, 411. No, 411. For people that don't understand, that's what you said, dial 411 for information. So it's go to the yellow pages.
I don't think anybody knows that anymore, Jeff.
We're dating ourselves.
I think so.
So that's that. Does anyone else want to share anything on maybe any tactics or tricks that they've utilized in the past that have worked for them in this marketplace? And what?
Simon, I would say something, and I think just to piggyback on what Jeff says and anybody else, sometimes it might be very good on the newer agents, and God bless you all that are coming into this industry at this time and have joined our phenomenal team here. But unless they're fairly new agents, but those that have been around a while, perhaps you might have some information and be able to get some information on that particular
For the screen, I can't see.
that agent that you're going to be working with. And so one of the things that you might want to also do, and I agree wholeheartedly on everything that has been said, so I don't need to go back over that again, but I would definitely get the agent on the phone and say, you know what, gosh darn it, Natalie, I have heard such great things about you. It would be a real pleasure to work with you in escrow. How do we need to do that? What do I have to do to put this together? It would be such a pleasure. And we haven't had an opportunity to work together, but I hear such great things about you. And it would be a real pleasure to work with you in escrow. And just really just smooth the agents, make them feel good. And you got to do whatever you got to do. Now, of course, you don't want to lie. If that's not the case, then you don't even want to say something like that. But if you have that opportunity, and if you can get some information from Jeff and he knows about him or her, whoever it is, if you don't, that's fine. But if you can delve in and get a little more information about everything that you're going to be dealing with, you want it to be nice and smooth and hassle-free and smooth and close as timely as possible. The other thing too is that removing these contingencies, if you do that, they're not obligated to buy. Is that correct? I mean, they could still back out before the contingent if they were to move. Say that you can't. I wouldn't remove all contingencies because you've got to have it out, But no one's going to be able to put a gun to their heads and make them purchase. So if for some reason they decide, and it happens all the time, and those of us that have been in this industry any time, those that I always say, easy in, easy out. So you be careful about those. Definitely, you don't want to be in that situation because anytime an escrow goes in real fast, I'm very, very leery. I'll be honest with you.
But that is one of my favorite lines too, is to say, hey, what do we have to do to make this work? I say to agents, and I love it when agents say that to me. Because I get the feeling that this is not an agent that's going to be adversarial. This is going to be an agent that's going to work with me. So that's a great line.
I do have a comment.
Sorry, go Nancy.
I have to disagree on there's a way out. I was on a mastermind call just this morning, and the buyers, she represented the seller, the buyer lost their deposit. And if you go in with zero contingency, it means zero contingency. So, I would not count on that at all. There is not oftentimes a way out. And in this market also.
I agree. In this market, there's no way. Market, if you're representing a seller, you don't want to give that buyer a single way out. Because then you're not doing your job for your seller.
Right. And, I like to be fair, but you know what? It just happens. So, and I've got one that we just put on, and it is zero contingency. If someone comes in with a loan, they have to be like cash, except we'll give them 21 days to close, but it is zero contingency period.
And you're probably
just like my friend who represented the seller, she said he's not happy with me either because it fell out. No one's happy, even though he kept the deposit and they went into escrow again. This is how it is, just tough out there now. And the sellers get greedier and the buyers don't feel like they're getting they feel like they're paying too much. So you really got to use as well as you can, your communication and make sure everything's very clear up front.
Yeah, I agree. I certainly agree with Tom, what you said. You've got to definitely, I call it stroke the ego of the agent, but you've got to compliment them in a way, honestly, but genuinely. There's a way to deliver it. And I'm sure you've perfected that over your years of doing it. You've got to give someone a genuine call. Hey, Tom, I've heard so much about you. I'm privileged to be on the phone with you right now. And I just want to know, is there any way that I can make my offer more attractive to make sure that we can work together? And what would you recommend I do? Ask him the question, what do you recommend I should do? I really want to work. I hope to be and aspire to be just as great an agent as you one day, Tom. And I want to know what would I need to do to make sure that I can ensure that happens? And that's exactly what you said. You've got to come across genuine. If you come across slimy, sneaky, like you're just faking it, it's very evident. They can read it immediately. The only other problem that you're going to find is they might not even answer their phone, because a lot of people are not answering their phone. But that's about it. That's what. But I want to say one extra thing. I had this is where you want to utilize your title connections or your relationships. I was making an offer on Sunday on Sunday night. The agent had negligently not put in all the information, but they wanted us to write a non-contingent offer. And to do so, I had to do my research for the buyer. Now, I found out and discovered that there was a hero plan on the home. And the listing agent had no idea, but yet demanded that we removed all contingencies. Now, how long is it in place for? What are the payments going to be? So I immediately rang up Lawrence, who saved the day.
Sorry.
And again,
what was that? What was that again?
He had a hero plan, like a HELOC plan.
HELOC.
It wasn't a HELOC, it was called a hero. So it's basically a loan. I thought it was a HELOC, but it actually was a hero plan. And what they did, it was originally, we thought it was for solar. It wasn't for solar in the end, it was for a backyard renovation. And it's now forms part of the property taxes for another 10 years. So that's a big difference over a 10-year period, paying that's an extra $40,000 because it was $4,000 a year. So,
you know, Simon, I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of agents don't ask that. Those hero loans are a nightmare.
Yeah.
Most of those people got taken advantage of.
Yep.
And then they try to palm it on to the buyer, and the buyer says, hey, you know what? You upgraded the home. Now you want me to pay for it?
Yeah.
And we've had that with solar. We've had a lot of those deals have actually fallen apart over the extra amount because a buyer says, I'll pay this much. Well, now you've got to pay another $25,000 because I took out a hero loan.
Yeah.
And so ask your sellers, are there any other liens on the property other than the trust deeds that are on it?
Now, here the problem for me was, Dale, that I wasn't the listing agent on the buying side.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, but this is where you utilize your relationships. I rang up Lawrence. It was what, 7, 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday. No one else during
It was
business
probably
hours.
at the cigar store smoking.
Yeah, question, why wasn't I invited? But
yeah, exactly.
But no, again, Lawrence immediately helped me out. She got me over the profile of the property. We were able to break it down, and then I was able to give my buyers confidence because I had knowledge. I looked unknowledgeable because I didn't know what was going on, but yet the listing agent was demanding a non-contingent offer. So just reiterating.
That's lack of disclosure. That is lack of disclosure.
It is.
And a lot of agents don't really ask that. This agent probably didn't either, but now you're paying another, usually they're about 25, 30,000, those hero loans. Now that's an extra, that much extra on the purchase price, and you weren't aware of it. So we've had a lot of those come up. And as I say, many times that deal has fallen apart because the buyer says, I didn't know this, and the seller never disclosed it.
Yeah, we were already offering $108,000 over asking.
Yeah, but isn't the seller responsible for paying those loans if they're the one that took it out?
Yeah, but the seller doesn't always want to. Oh, you're going to benefit because I put on solar. You're going to benefit because I did this. So that's where you run into a problem. Because a buyer looks at it and says, hey, I bought that in the purchase price. Now you're charging me another $25,000 for the solar when I thought I purchased it when I bought the property.
Correct. Correct. Because it always remains with the property, Natalie. So it's just, really that's a big point because that's you know, if it's a $400,000 or sorry $600,000 home and it's a $20,000 fee, that's a considerable amount of money. That could be the difference between your client getting it or going under after if the market shifts on them. They're going to be belly up very quickly. So have we got anything else on the slide? Is that are we done? Oh, have a great week, guys.
All right, we done?
We are done. If there's anything else anyone wants to add, we've got a couple of minutes.
Oh, we're going to have the lenders speak just to give us an update.
Sorry. My apologies, guys. Who wants to have the floor? Tina, you want to take it away? You're on mute. There we go.
Hello, everyone. Well, one thing I wanted to go back to what Simon said, I see a lot of creative ways of getting offers accepted from Los Angeles agents. Like I have few that they give me transactions in Los Angeles. They call, they ask within how many days I can have the appraisal in. So they go in with no contingency and just keep their inspection contingency within 10 days. So that's their way out. But that comes back to the lender to make sure that they have the loan approved and the appraisal in within 10 days. So that's a way out for the borrower. If they're not working with a lender that is quick to get that conclusion, then it's going to be a big deal because they've removed their contingency. But I had one that got accepted just because we had underwrote the file ahead of time. All we had to do is pay rush fee to get the appraisal in. So there's both sides. Like Nancy said, you have to be careful. But then if your lender can deliver on those timelines, you can remove them and keep one contingency. And that might help you get the deal through. As far as yeah, go ahead.
How quickly are you seeing right now, how quickly are appraisals being turned around?
As far as the purchase, closing, you mean? Or the
open up escrow today, how quickly could you get an appraisal done?
Well, I am basically, once we order, as soon as we get the disclosures out and we order appraisal, we call the company, say we want it in 3 days. How much does it take to get it in 3 days? Well, appraisers are very busy right now. You give them $100 rush fee, they won't even take the order. But I've had appraisers charge almost double to give it to us in 3 days. If the borrower is investing $800,000 and they're paying $100,000 over the asking price, they don't care about $500 extra. So most of them are happy to pay and get the appraisal in. Just because, especially if they're offering a lot, they want to make sure that the difference is not huge. It is actually coming. They're expecting to pay a little bit, but they're not expecting to pay the whole 100,000 extra.
Got you.
Does that make sense?
Now, are you guys getting people DU approval earlier than later? We
get the DU approval right when we are pre-qualifying the borrower. But if you want to go in without the contingency, we are sending it to underwriting. We're getting full approval, subject to appraisal and prelim, and that's
What do you think timeline-wise on that? How quickly are they turning that around right now?
You mean the approvals?
Yes.
We can get them done in a few days.
Okay.
1 or 2 days, yeah. And close of escrow, we do 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
From start to finish, yeah. So there are a lot of creative ways we are seeing now that the agents are shortening contingency, removing contingency, but you just have to make sure that the whole team is on board with delivering on their timelines.
Yeah, you got to have a good team who can deliver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And as far as the rates, actually, we had a good day today. We had a midday price change for better, and the market has been improving a little bit, but there's always that talk that there's, even though they said there may not be as much inflation, but that changes also daily. They said that there may be now. So they are expecting there may be an increase in a couple of months again. But with the economy, they've said that if 70% of people get vaccinated, then we see a lot faster recovery. And that's when the Fed is going to stop buying bonds as they are right now, daily. So to answer the question, I really don't know where the rates are going to go. But today has been a good day.
Haven't you got one of those crystal balls that you can just sort of look into and tell us?
Yeah, because a lot of things, I'm sure you guys heard today, Johnson & Johnson, they said that there's some side effects to their vaccination. And that affected the stock market and affected the bonds. So that's why we're having better midday pricing. So depending on what it is on the news and economic news, that impacts the rate. But today they said that there could be an increase in couple months.
Yeah, I read
That
that.
was based on today's rate, today's update.
Yeah, I saw the Biden administration made an announcement saying that they're anticipating inflation to be curbed by raising interest rates within the next 6 months.
Yes, that's what they said this morning in an update.
And but you're right about Johnson & Johnson, that's really affecting the market.
Yes.
That's big.
Keep in mind that all of these things, that's just noise out there. All right. That's what they call noise. So keep one thing that you need to really be hanging your hat on. And that is what the Fed chairman said. And he says that he's not going to be raising interest rates anytime soon for the next few years. So if that's the case, then we wonder, okay, what is going to change things to come around? And I'm going to have to say, it's just a big unknown out there. So it could happen. It could happen any time. But right now, if we just see things going the way they are, it's nice and rosy. Things are up, interest rates are down, and the Fed say they're not going to be raising them. And as Dale says, if interest rates go up and curtails this market, look, I would say they're going to have to go way up, because even if they go up to, 3%, 4%, that's still low as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get these people, and then the buyers, they realize that, and that's why they're in. You see.
Yeah, they're seeing value in this current market still. And absolutely right, Tom. But
I just wanted to ask you, when Tom mentioned the Fed raising or not raising rates, how does that affect your rates, or does that affect just
that affects that is Fed. There's two things. There's Fed rate, which is what banks lend each other overnight when they're lending, and then the prime rate doesn't impact. None of these impacts are the rates. What impacts the interest rates that for real estate, it's the 10-year yield and mortgage-backed securities. Those two things impacts the rates.
And how are they doing right now?
Well, the 10-year yield has gone up a lot, and it's because as the economy gets stronger, so people take their money out of bonds and they invest into a stock market, and that impacts the 10-year yield. It was when COVID hit, it went below 1. Now it's 1.6. This morning, I think we had a change. So I don't know exactly this morning, but it almost has gone up, as doubled since the market has improved.
Wow.
So that's not the long-term rate, to answer your question. It's like it impacts the line of credits, credit cards, and all of those. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
So where is the 30-day conforming rate and the jumbo rate and the high limit rate at 0 points today, just for my own information?
Well, I would say conforming is right below 3. High balance is right in the low 3s. I locked someone at 3% today. And high balance and jumbo is around 3.25.
Okay, so they haven't gone up that much, really.
No.
Okay.
Well, conforming has gone up from 2.2 3/8 to like almost 3. It's gone up, but not drastically. Like Tom said, these rates shouldn't impact the rate as much. What also I heard in the financial news, what's creating the lack of inventory, all the younger generations are hitting in their 30s, mid 30s, they're starting to buy homes. Most of our clients are also, those are new buyers that are coming on the market. What's creating the market is lack of inventory and high demands.
Yeah.
So that may not go away for a while, because of the rates. So the rates shouldn't impact it that much.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
And anyone else want to share today? Who we got here? I can't see everyone's name on the screen.
All right, it's 1 o'clock.
All right.
Great meeting. Thank you, Simon.
A great week. Look after yourself. Look out for others. If you can help someone else out, you never know what you might be doing to help them change their life. So don't forget that. All right, guys. Thanks again.
Thank you. Make someone happy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.